Our first form is 27 movements. In Japanese, it's called Niju Shichi Waza. It's very basic. This is a stationary kata. You start in a stance, and it's like a horse stance. It's called a horse stance, okay? You're pretending you're on the horse. Your knees are bent, your feet are in stirrups, and your toes are pointed in. Okay? You want to squeeze your bum, your legs, and your calves, and make sure you're tight. Your stomach's tight, pulling in. So you start from this position here. And we're going to go over the 4 blocks. First block is a high block. Okay, all you do is put your arm above your head. Make sure it's above your head and covering your head. Not too low and not too high. Okay, so right over your head. A good indication if you're sitting in front of a mirror is your thumb should be on the side of your ear. So you draw that line like you're trying to shade the sun from your eyes. So that's the position. Your arm's on a 45. So we're going to do a few of these, okay, just to get the mechanics. Notice that this arm is behind me and elbowing behind. So here we go. First, 1, 2, 1, 2. We're actually doing 2 things at once here. We're doing the block in the front there, and we're also practicing the elbow behind. So if someone were to attack, I'll just hit this punching bag over here. You're also practicing that. So 2 things, high block, okay? The next movement is the outside middle block. Basically, you put your arm out like you're sort of making muscles, but not this way, out. And basically you want to bring your arm, swing it past your body where your fist is on the other side of your shoulder. So you punch out and block. Punch out and block. Punch out and block. So that's the outside middle block. Again, remember, you're elbowing at the same time, so you're blocking and elbowing. Okay? And the next one is the inside middle block. Basically what you're doing is you're sort of hugging yourself. Okay, on a 45-degree angle. You bring this arm up, and this arm goes back. Again, fist in front of shoulder. That's where you want to block. You don't want to go too high, because then you don't block, and you don't want to go too low, because you're going to miss. That's the block. So again, this hand, your right hand, or my right hand, goes up, and my left goes down, and then I block. Nice and easy. So basically a diagonal hug. Make sure your arms are touching each other, and block. Touching and block. Touching and block. And the next one, sort of the same, it's a low block, okay? So here's the low block. This arm goes down and this one comes up, and basically you're pretending like you have some mud or some lint or something on your arm, and you brush it off. Up, cross, the hug again, and brush it up. It's a sweeping low block. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first 4 blocks. High block, 1, 2, outside middle, 3, 4, inside middle, 5, 6, and low block, 7, and 8. Those are the first 8 movements of 27 movements. The punch. So I'm going to show you how to do the basic karate punch. In the karate world, there's different subtle variations. I'm going to show you the one that was taught to me. There's no right or wrong. One style will say one thing, one style will say another thing. It doesn't matter at the end of the idea. You're just doing karate, you're trying to take out your technique and make it useful. And here's how you do it. From the stationary traditional karate stance. Our stance, again, is in the horse stance. We're just going to get into it. Remember, you're sitting on the horse, your feet are in the stirrups, so toes in, heels out, knees bent, bum tight with your hips up, thighs and calves tight. And the way you want to achieve that is pretend you're clawing into the ground and trying to rip out the soil. That's the sensation. So you're nice and tight, stomach is nice and tight, and we're going to punch. So in karate, we punch with the first 2 knuckles, but top and bottom, top and bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the punch. Okay? We use these 2 knuckles. And most commonly, there's 3 areas we like to aim for. The solar plex, a little spot in between your stomach muscles and your breastbone. There's a little hole in the body where the diaphragm that makes you breathe goes up and down. It's a weakness in the body. So we like striking that. In the head, between the eyes, into the nose, we like striking there. And unfortunately, I like to teach it for the kids below the belt, okay? So we'll just go right to the knot of the belt. So I'm gonna show you how we initiate it. Same thing, both fists are back, mid-level, where your ribs and your kidneys start, basically, with your fingernails in a closed position up. And we always start with our left side, so we're going to just fire it out. We rub our arm across our body like a bow and arrow. Our body is the bow, the arm is the arrow. And you shoot it out, 2 knuckles, pointing right in the solar plex, right in the middle, okay? And that's where you want to aim. 2. And again, remember, you're punching and elbowing at the same time. 1, punch elbow, 2, punch elbow. Okay, so punching into the solar plex, elbowing the guy behind you. You're practicing 2 things. So here's the basic punch. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. You're listening to my gi, my uniform, rubbing against itself, making noise. That's how you know you're doing the punch properly. Okay, full speed. Okay, and you can do that with the breath and so on. So here are the basic areas we like to use. Between the eyes, high punch, middle punch, solar plex, and low punch. Okay, so we're not punching this high, we're basically aiming at our own, I like to tell the kids, evil twin in front of us. We try to hit them. So you want to hit between your eyes, your solar plex, your groin area, or your lower belt area, okay? So there's your high, there's your middle, there's your low. This is one of the exercises. You can do it in 2 ways. I'm gonna show you both ways. Double punch, okay? So high punch, 1, 2, middle punch, 1, 2, and low punch, 1, 2. High, middle, low. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. High, middle, low. High, middle, low. High, middle, low. And you can go faster. I'm doing this at medium speed so that you get an idea of how to do this. Remember, what goes out must come back. Here's a little science for you. For every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. Beautiful thing about karate, we practice this every day. So you're punching out, elbowing behind you. For every action, opposite equal reaction, okay? So there's your idea. High, middle, low. And that's the punch. Thank you. First block is a high block. Outside middle block. The next one is the inside middle block. Low block. Okay, so high punch, 1, 2, middle punch, 1, 2, and low punch, 1, 2. High, middle, low.